Hi, this is Rick Stoud and Stephen Holder with the St. Petersburg Times. Let's talk a little bit about Sunday's game between the Bucs at Washington. And, you know, Stephen, for the last couple of weeks, Josh Freeman hasn't really played up to his level statistically. Less than 50% completion percentage, around 48 or so. His passer rating is down in the 60s. And there's been some things that have just not happened for their offense. And a lot of it has to do with Freeman. They've got some moving parts on the offensive line, etc. But what is it really that's happening there? The defenses have sort of kind of taken away Mike Williams a little bit. Who needs to step up this week?
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people are kind of wondering what is going on with Mike Williams. He hasn't made a big play in a couple of weeks, and I think you just hit it on the head. Defenses, there's a book of film on Mike Williams now, and they're starting to learn how to effectively cover him and take him away. So I think it's incumbent upon these other receivers to step up and make plays. I think looking back at the Baltimore game, we didn't see that in particular. I think Michael Spurlock dropped a touchdown pass. Right. He had another drop last week. We haven't seen guys necessarily getting the consistent separation that you need. So I think there's some issues there. This is a young group of receivers. We knew this was going to be a work in progress, and really now we're going to find out what these guys are made of. I think one guy you should look for is Regis Ben. Aurelius Ben, as others may know. You know, this is a guy who you notice now they're trying to find creative ways to get him the football because they're trying to get him involved in the game in some fashion. Last week they ran an end around with him, a sweep. They threw a quick pass, sort of a screen-like play with him. And he can actually get out in the open field and make plays. He got, I believe, 28 yards, I want to say, on the screen pass. So this is a guy who can make big plays if you get him in the right position. What they've got to do now is find ways to do that conventionally in the passing game, you know, if and when teams take Mike Williams away. And then there's also the old reliable option, which is tight end Kellen Winslow. Right. And I think they've got to find ways to get him the football. And obviously defenses are going to pay very close attention to him. But if they're going to take Mike Williams away, then I think Kellen Winslow has got to be an option for them. So I would look for Kellen Winslow to be more involved potentially this week. So on the other side, you know, we have this Washington Redskins team, Rick, that started off rather promising under a new coach, new quarterback, and they've really gone into a funk lately. Where is this team right now? A lot of controversy. Albert Haynesworth. Is this a team that can still step up, a veteran team, and beat a young team like the Bucs?
Yeah, I mean, I still think they have a lot of great football in them. I mean, it starts with Donovan McNabb. I mean, he is a potential Hall of Fame quarterback, and even though, you know, his relationship with Mike Shanahan has kind of been rocky at times, you know, the Albert Haynesworth situation, they finally suspended their defensive tackle, a $100 million player. And a lot of times, Stephen, I think when you remove that distraction, even though it will be one for early part of the week, sometimes teams tend to get better as a result of it. We've seen that in New England with Randy Moss, you know, whether or not he was a distraction, but certainly, you know, the guys that were there knew how to move forward. And defensively has been their problem. They are last in the league in defense. You know, just haven't been getting it done under Jim Haslett. I think that's an area where they need to get better in a hurry. But anytime you play a Donovan McNabb at quarterback, he's still got some weapons in Santana Moss. Had a little trouble running the football. But when you go to FedEx Field, it's going to be loud. The weather's not going to be great. You're expecting rain on Sunday. Certainly it's going to be a little bit of cold weather. So, you know, these are all factors that a young team has to learn how to deal with. And I think, you know, being a veteran team, this is like the fourth oldest team in the league, these guys have a lot of football behind them, so they know how to play and they can win at any time. So it'll be a tough matchup for the Bucs. Check back with us again on TampaBay.com for all the latest news with the Bucs.